So, first question I'm going to ask you is, why are you running?
Why am I running? I want to show that it's possible for others to do the same. Throughout my 4 years here at Queen's, I've noticed that it can be intimidating to engage with your student leaders, and I want to see what I can do to change that. We sat around a coffee table and we decided the AMS can improve, and our platform is written in terms of room for improvement. I want to show that it's possible for someone to do their homework and meet with as many people as they can, and if they can raise their hand, and and they won't be told to put their hand down.
Yeah, as for me, I was kind of approached by Jeff and Bryor just to see if I was interested in running with them early in the year, and I thought, why not? It would be a fun experience either way. If we don't win, I think it's great to get out there, meet a lot of people, have a lot of fun. So that's really why I decided to run.
Okay, great. And what are your main motivators or the motivating factors why you're running for AMS exec? I know you kind of just touched on that.
You're right. Yeah, like I said, just showing that it's possible for these kind of things for someone to actually run for AMS exec that hasn't had 4 years experience being on assembly and the like. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I thought being a first year, getting involved would be kind of interesting. It's not something that happens very often, and I have goals in my life to get into academia and possibly a teaching position. So that's why I went for the university affairs position, to kind of get ties with the faculty, learn what it's all about, and the other side of things.
Right. Okay. What is the largest misconception about your team?
I think the largest misconception about our team is that we don't know enough, that we're not experienced enough. We have done a lot of work to learn as much as we can about the AMS, and we're going to continue doing that if elected. We're going to enter a mentorship role with the current exec and meet with all the other people in these offices that we didn't get a chance to meet with. I think the learning curve is steep, but that doesn't mean that we're not ready to climb it. We want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jeff. I think that's definitely what people think right now, and what we thought at first, that it would be very difficult to learn everything. But having met with all the commissioners and a bunch of the extended council, we realized that it's really not that hard to learn if you try hard and you have the ambition and the passion to learn.
Yeah. Okay, great. Why will you work well as a team should you be elected?
I think as a team, we bring a really diverse skill set to the table, and we're not afraid to bounce ideas off one another. We all wrote our platform, like I said, around a coffee table. We all think that there's room for improvement, and we all draw on different experiences that collectively we make a really good team.
What is the most misunderstood aspect of your platform?
The most misunderstood aspect of our platform, I'd have to say, is probably our last platform point, which is renaming Alfie's. It's mostly a rebranding effort. We want to make it the place to go for special events on campus. And the renaming, first of all, if we did in fact change the name, we would give a more appropriate honor to Alfred Pierce through naming a larger, more appropriate space after him. And also, the other thing is, we're not set in stone about changing it. It would be a contest or a poll to see what people wanted, and one of the options would be Alfie's, and if people wanted that and they clicked on it, then by all means it would stay the same.
Yeah, even if the name stayed the same, we would still try other ways to rebrand it and get signage and lobby the administration to do that. So either way, if the name doesn't change, we still want to make sure Alfie's becomes more than it is right now.
Why does your platform stand out amongst the others?
We've had a lot of compliments actually on our platform. I think in terms of, what was the question again, sorry?
Why does your platform stand out amongst the others?
Stand out amongst the others. I would say in terms of how it's written and how it's structured. When we were writing our platform, we asked 3 basic questions. How can we increase sense of citizenship in the AMS? How can we better serve students day to day on the society side? And how can we reflect the by students, for students philosophy on the corporate side? And then all of our platform points arise as answers to those questions. And within each platform point, we would break it down into why does it matter? So why are we talking about it? How is it currently handled? Just for information. Merits of the current AMS team, because we don't want to say we want to wildly change everything. There's a lot of things that are great that are going on right now. And room for improvement is talking points for how we think we can make it better.
Okay. What is the most valuable experience you've had at Queen's thus far that will enhance your position should you be elected?
Okay. For me, I've only been here one term so far, so I don't have a lot of experience within Queen's that really is going to help with my position. But I think orientation week and just getting to know a lot of people and getting out there, going to events on campus, going to plays, going to lectures, going to talks, I think all that really helps to build your spirit at Queen's, and I think spirit's really important.
In terms of my position, this past year I was finers chair, but there's more history to it than that. In first year, I remember that I didn't feel very connected to Queen's, and finers was the one place where I did, and I saw that there was a lot of ways that I could make it better. So for the past 3 years I've worked, in the first year I was a communications exec, in the second year I was a finance exec, and this year I was finers chair. It was a 3-year plan to make finers better, and I think I've made that happen. I looked at the room for improvement and I made it happen. I worked with the admin to make it happen, and I think that sort of attitude of empathy, listening, and cooperation is something I would bring well to my position.
Great. Mental health resources at Queen's has been an ongoing concern to students, especially over the past few years. What are your plans to address these concerns?
Okay, I think we have quite a few plans for that. The major one is to bolster the services offered by the Peer Support Center by getting them a bigger space. We want to make sure the first thing we do if we're elected is to move them into a larger space so that they can have a confidential meeting area as well as a reception area, and also install soundproofing so it is the safe, confidential space that it should be for students.
Okay. Great. What has been the biggest challenge thus far during your campaigning?
The biggest challenge, I would say, is getting our message out there. Our campaign, I feel, is very creative in terms of our use of our banner, which is 4-foot by 40-foot white cloth, where people write on responses to answer on questions every day. But the biggest thing is we chose to not have a campaign manager, and we don't have like an army of volunteers. We man the booth ourselves. So it's just a matter of getting people aware that, that there is a third team running and there is a third option out there.
Great. Should you be elected, what will be the first thing that you do as a team in office?
Okay, I think I just touched on that. The first thing we really want to do is make sure that the Peer Support Center is expanded so that it's available to more students. And like I said, it's a more safe and confidential space. And beyond that, I think we would really start working right away with the current exec to learn everything we can from them.
Yeah. Okay, great. One issue with the current AMS Council is that it's made up of almost entirely 5th and 6th year arts and science students. Will your team commit to hiring students from a variety of faculties and backgrounds?
Yeah, I think it's very important that we consider everyone that applies. It doesn't really matter which year they're in, as long as they have the passion and the drive for the position, as well as some relevant experience.
Yeah, and I think drawing from as wide a variety of faculties as possible can only benefit our society for sure. A lot of people confuse ASIS with the AMS, and that's something that should change.
Great. Many of the corporate services have posted year-over-year deficits, and what will your team do to curb losses from the services that continue to underperform?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
Many of the corporate services have posted year-over-year deficits. What will your team do to curb losses from services that continue to underperform?
I'd say the one service that we have been looking at is Alfie's, because it does post significant losses year to year. In terms of our plans with it, we want to make it the place for special events on campus so that we can, like what they've been moving towards recently is the classic rock nights, the lounge nights. I think there's a hip-hop night, and those are all much better attended than when it's a top 40 club, I think. So I think we're taking that aspect where they have found success, and we'd like to expand on that.
Yeah, we really want to build on that by doing more events like possibly a battle of the bands, getting like slam poetry in there, just kind of broadening the scope of what Alfie's can do.
Yeah, I remember talking with one of the people that runs the Kingston Slam Poetry, and when I mentioned the Alfie's as a space, he was like, I never thought of Alfie's that way, but that would be a really cool place to have it. So, and I think we get a similar response from a lot of different people.
Great. Just a few more questions. None of you have held positions in the AMS before. How are you ensuring students that you're well suited for the positions you're running for, including any relevant experience outside?
Well, in terms of myself, I know that for the past 3 months I've read over the Constitution, all the policy mails and everything, and I've also met with anyone all of us have met with anyone who's willing to meet with us. And in terms of ensuring that I bring my skill set as well suited, we're going to enter a mentorship role to learn the facts, but we can learn that. I know we can. Relevant experience. I have experience working with the administration, and when I walk into the Student Affairs office, they always love to see me. So I don't think that that would change if I take office, and I really think working with the administration is something I can bring to the table.
Yeah, as for relevant experience, like I've said before, I haven't been at Queen's very long, but I have had lots of experience outside of academia. I've been the head of sales in a software company. I've opened and run a pawn shop here in Kingston, and I've worked lots of jobs in customer service and finance. So I think those have really built my teamwork skills and my interpersonal skills, which is going to be really important for the role of VP UA, especially when working with the administration.
Your team has chosen to forego the standard practices of AMS campaigns and hire campaign managers and a sizable team of volunteers to spread your message. Has this been effective? And looking back, would you still have taken this route if you were more familiar with the AMS campaign process?
I would make that decision over and over again. I love having all of us manning the booth every day. I love how we are the face of what people see when they see our campaign. I'd also like to say that I didn't put my letter first, which is something that doesn't happen very often, but it sounds better. It's not a standard practice either. But yeah, I don't think I would change how I did things. We as a team, we worked really hard together, and that's the way it's going to be in office. We're not going to have a campaign manager when we're in office, so I didn't want to have one now. It's good practice.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jeff. I think our campaign really has a personal touch to it because we're behind everything that everyone sees. You know, I do all the social media, Jeff does the website, Bryor did the video. We all do it ourselves, and I think that really shows through in our campaign.
Yeah, sure. Last question. Your platform seems to be more about a fundamental change in thinking about how a student government should operate, rather than focusing on new distinct projects and goals. Given that, how would you evaluate a successful year under RMS exec?
I would evaluate, okay, in terms of evaluating how successful our year has been, I would say how successful our executive live chat sessions would be a good way of evaluating it. We want to be proactive in how we engage with students. We want people to feel like they can come and talk to us, and we're going to go out and talk to them. You know, we shouldn't be people who hide behind closed doors. We shouldn't be our job titles only. It's important for students to know that we are their peers, and we're working for them, with them, on their behalf. And I think that's how we judge our success.
Great. Do you have any more comments, anything else you guys would like to say?
Not really, no.
All right.
No.
Well, that's all the questions that I have so far.
Great.
All right, well,
Well,
thank you so
very
much.
much.
That was great.
Thanks.
Yeah.